We are living in a golden age of science, culture, technology. I don't know. I don't care. I'm talking about video game, film, and TV adaptations. After decades of disappointment, they're finally good. So, let's have a look at my 10 favourites. Onwards! Coming straight in at number 10, we have Dota Dragon's Blood. Does it give an accurate representation of what it's like to play a game of Dota? No, not at all. It's nowhere near as depressing. What it does do though, is take some fan favourite characters, expand upon the few dozen voice lines or so that make up their personality in the game, and dig deep into what makes them tick. While the show isn't as flashy as its competitors, it's very solid. Reliable. You won't regret watching it, is my tagline for this one. And now, almost the best Nintendo licensed film on this list, the new Super Mario Bros. Movie. Not to be confused with the old Super Mario Bros. Movie, starring Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo. It's got a star-studded cast featuring the likes of Chris Pratt, Jack Black, and Charlie Day? The animation is top-notch, the setting is as quirky as you'd expect, and it's just good, honest fun for the whole family. It's a solid, everyone can enjoy it blockbuster. Enough slapstick jokes for the kids, and a big old nostalgia injection for the adults. On to one of the most powerful stories of redemption and transformation in recent times. Sonic the Hedgehog. What are you on about, Cole? I hear you ask. Have we all forgotten the way this movie could have gone? Remember, Sonic used to look like this.
Meow?
Like some feral sewer beast with inexplicable human teeth. Imagine if this had gone through, the damage that would have been caused. But they turned it around. They made Sonic feel like Sonic, and everything clicked into place. Sure, it probably cost them more money than I'll ever see in my whole life, but it's worth it to mean that I don't feel a very minor passing sense of slight annoyance. We're staying on the heavy-hitting mascots of the video game world, and shifting our sights to Nintendo. They paired everyone's favourite electric-type Pokemon together with the equally likeable Ryan Reynolds for Detective Pikachu, and it's a match made in heaven. Honestly, it's quite staggering. It's the closest experience I've ever had to seeing a living, breathing human world filled with Pokemon. And to be honest with you, it was actually a bit scary. Like, good scary. I'm not saying I was scared of the film, but then again, I'm not saying that I wasn't scared of the film. Yet another quality title that you'd have to be a real buzzkill to dislike. Coming in hot at number 6, we have Dragon's Dogma. Who? What? Where? Yep, I'm sure a lot of you might have missed this, just as many missed the game. But in both cases, you've slept on a major hit. The game doesn't get much love, but it's utterly superb and unique, and while the TV adaptation may not have reached the same heights, it's still worth a watch. So, the whole world of Dragon's Dogma is filled with classic fantasy tropes, but with a few twists and intricacies. It has an ambitious story, and although it only had one season, here's hoping this oddball gets a bit more love in the future and a second season. That said, some fans of the game didn't like it at all. Like, utterly despised it. I don't see it, but I like the show. It was good. Maybe you should just watch it for yourself and make your own decision, instead of listening to that lot over there, or to me, who, for the record, has never steered you wrong before. Just remember that when you're picking a side. Coming in right in the middle of the pack, we have Werewolves Within. And I don't even know where to begin with this one. So the company that made the game is Red Storm Entertainment. Red Storm made a solid 3 decades worth of games about terrorism, subterfuge, and tactical warfare. And then in 2016, they made a social deduction game about werewolves, which was mildly popular. And then turned that into a great big stonking movie. It's strange how it came into the world. It kind of just appeared one night. Kind of like a werewolf. It's a fun, original romp that isn't using its video game side as a crutch, but rather a jumping off point. Get ready everyone, because it's the part of the episode where I talk about Castlevania. The things I've covered so far, good, enjoyable, but very much video game to screen adaptations. They fall a bit short, but we forgive them and we watch them and we enjoy them because they're based on characters and stories and worlds that we love. Then Castlevania came along in 2017, and it had no right being as bloody good as it was. Not just for a series based on a game, just in general. It was fantastic. Based on the game series of the same name, obviously, the series had big boots to fill, so people had high expectations. The series promised to keep true to the important details. There would be vampires, there would be violence, there would be crucial and impossible to beat evil that would eventually be beaten by the forces of good. Outside of that, the show takes its own direction, puts its own twists on things, and no word of a lie, is utterly superb. If you've yet to watch it, get on it, right after the next three that I'm about to talk about. First up on our podium is HBO's The Last of Us. Now, don't let its bronze medal put you off. This show is absolutely brilliant. And that's no surprise, coming from the makers of some of the best TV shows ever made. They made The Sopranos, The Wire, the first few good seasons of Game of Thrones. But The Last of Us keeps up with the high caliber of these other shows, coming from the brilliant mind of that smarty pants who made Chernobyl. The series stays true to its video game roots. It leans more into the characters and their arcs than it does the mindless killing of the infected. The show did draw some criticism from fans for not featuring as much action/murder as its source material, but all things considered, that's probably the best approach. Instead, they focus more on the human struggle. And what a struggle it is. The cast is incredible, the writing and direction are impeccable, and it's a stellar show not just for fans of the game, but for literally anyone. It's helping to build that bridge between us gaming weirdos and normal civilized society. It's Arcane, and only at number 2? How controversial? Well, before you try and cancel me or say horrible things about me and my mother in the comments section, just hear me out. Arcane is a stunning show, utterly unique. Its animation is actually mesmerizing, and it's the kind of work that can only come out of one of those fancy French animation studios. It's intriguing and interesting and evocative in so many ways. Oh, but it's also tiring. I don't think I'm the only one to think this. I loved watching it. In fact, I loved every episode. But when those final credits rolled, I was actually a little bit relieved. I didn't really want to know what happened next. I wanted a chance to process everything I'd seen. And that wasn't something that I could do just in the middle, because it was so darn good, I didn't want to stop. I don't know if quality exhaustion is a real thing, but I was knackered because there was so much going on, so many details and intricate little threads to nibble on, that I couldn't fully appreciate what was actually going on. So maybe it is the best game to screen adaptation, but it's not my favourite. And remember, this episode is called My Favourite Adaptations, not best. Oh, well, it isn't? It's best? Oh, I've really f***ed it then, haven't I? Well then, let's see my favourite, which may or may not be the best. Sorry, I really thought we were doing something different with this one. Is it too late to change it? It's too late. And here we are in Night City. Cyberpunk Edgerunners takes my top spot, and I just love it. Violent, meaningful, emotional, cool, sleek, and did I mention violent? While its anime style may be off-putting to some, and a huge plus to others, that whole approach shouldn't be important. If you haven't given Edgerunners a chance because of your complete disdain for anime, just move past it. You'll get sucked in and absorbed, and absolutely love it. It's got a real sense of individual style, and while it may not be as flashy and fancy as the League of Legends adaptation, it's just as impactful. Whether it's a brutal cyber-psycho attack or a poignant human moment, the show has these little ways of making sequences its own. But there's one other reason Edgerunners stands out to me, more so than Arcane did. See, I had a similar thing. I didn't finish it, and immediately want to watch it again. I still wanted that time to process, but I could do it in a different way. Edgerunners got me back into Night City and back into Cyberpunk 2077, and it felt great. Arcane never made me want to play League of Legends, because, well, It would mean that I'd play League of Legends. No manner of rose-tinted glasses will cover the fact that only misery can be uncovered there. So there we go. Cyberpunk is my favourite. It gave me an incredible series to watch, but also drew me in to such a degree, and then had a platform available for me to live out the atmosphere. It may also be the best, but it also may not be. I can't answer that question right now, because, you know, that whole miscommunication. But go ahead and let me know your favourite. Write a comment, send me a letter, deliver me your messages by hand. Better yet, burn your comments onto my lawn. That will really make them stand out. That's all for now. Bye-bye.